Okay, hello everyone. In this video I'll show you how to create a data source in a Weblogic server pointing to a PostgreSQL database. So the first thing I'm going to do, I will create a simple database that I'll call it video 1, and the owner will be the Postgres. I have only one user, so I have already installed the Postgres in my Windows machine, as well as the Weblogic server. So if you need any regarding those two tools, check that in some of my other videos. So let me see if my new database is working. Right, let me create a simple table here that I'll call table 1, and it will have let me see, an ID that will be there will be an American, no, that will be serial. Alright, and then let me add another field just to make sure we have simple text, just text, and data type will be text as well. Alright, and in the constraint, let me add a primary key that will be the ID column. Okay, alright. So right now I might have a simple table called table 1 that there's no data. Let me add some data. 1, data 2, data 3, and data 4. Alright, so I have the primary key and the data. So I have created my video 1 database. Alright, and now I can go back to my Weblogic server. Let me open it. So I have installed a very simple Weblogic. So as I said before, if you need information regarding Weblogic installation, please check my other videos. Okay, and I will bring up my my Weblogic, and it should say soon that it's running. Okay, server starting in running mode. Okay, server seems to be working. Let me bring it to the video screen. Alright, so let me go to my console page. That is my localhost, port, and console. And you just need to add the user and password for the Weblogic, the one that you set while you were creating the domain. Alright, so in the Weblogic you have a lot of things that you can do, and I have another videos that you can check that. But for now on, I will hit here in this link, Datasource. Alright, and what do we want to do? We want to create a data source pointing to my Postgres, right? Let me just change one thing here. Okay, so new, and then I'm create a simple data source that will be video 1 data source, And as JNDI name, we can just say JDBC video 1. What database I'm going to use? I won't use Oracle, so I need to change. I can use a bunch of other database, for instance, MySQL, SQL Server, and Progress, Sybase, whatever. You can use any one of those. From now on, I will use Postgres, right? And then we click next. Here, we need to use the correct driver. That will be the Postgres type 4. Alright, and then hit next. Just hit next. And here, database name. Let me say Postgres. Actually, I added Postgres for everything as host name. Localhost, port, database name, username, Postgres, and username password will be Postgres as well, in my case, but you need to double check based in the database configuration you have just done. Hit next. Okay, and then we can double check driver class name. We can check the URL that is wrong here. We need to change to video 1 Postgres, and let me just double check that the password is Postgres as well. So how can we test that? Actually, what Weblogic does to test the database, it just select count star from what came in this SQL, so it won't work for the Postgres. What I usually do, since we have created a simple column here called simple table here called table 1, we can just add table 1 here. Table 1. Why? When Weblogic will try to access this database to test, it will do something like that. Select count star from table 1. Okay, select count star from table 1. So we don't need that. We just need the table 1 because all the other things Weblogic will do for us. Alright, so let me test. Okay, connection test succeed. So we hit finished, and we have our data source created successfully. If I go here, we can check the monitoring, and we can test it. Oh, I forgot one thing. The targets. Let's target it for the both servers that I have created. Okay, and now if you go back to monitoring, we see that I am able to test that. Okay, and it will be working. Test of video 1 data source on server admin server was successful. So we have it created and tested. There's only another thing that we have to take care of, that is this. To make it work, we need to add our database driver to the Weblogic class path. So to do that, what I have done, I just come to my Weblogic installation folder, alright, then common and bin, and I add this file com environment, and then I just click edit that. Let me bring it to the video screen. Alright, and then I just look for Weblogic class path. So here I have the Weblogic class path. What I have done in the very end of this line, okay, I keep everything as is, alright, but in the end I have just added this string. Okay, I keep the same class path, and I also added the Postgres driver that I have downloaded from the web. Alright, so make sure you have the correct the correct path here, okay, and it will work. Let me remove it and let's check if the application will break. Let me bring it, Ctrl C, yes, and let me start the Weblogic again. Okay, Weblogic is running, and if I go here, home, it will start over again. Login. And then I'll check my data source. Okay, it's here. So far so good. But now I'm going to test it. Alright, testing, and let me test. And it worked, but it shouldn't work. Video 2, data source, JDBC, video 2, data source, video 2, data source, Postgres, next, database name, video 1, host name, localhost, database username Postgres, and then Postgres and Postgres, next, localhost, video 1, Postgres, and then Postgres and Postgres again. And then here I have just table 1. Okay, so the driver wasn't there, so it doesn't work. So if I change it, Control Z. Okay, so I will roll back my change. So I have added the driver again. Save it here. Close it, I don't need it anymore. Let me bring the application down, the Weblogic server down. Alright, and then I'll bring it up again. And then I'll do exactly the same. Data source, I'll create the video 2 that I have created. Video 2 ds JDBC video 2. Here it will be Postgres. Alright, next again, next again, and here database name will be video 1 because it's the database that I have. Host name will be localhost because it's everything is locally here in my local box. Port will be the same because I'm using the default port. Database username will be Postgres. Password and confirm password will be Postgres as well. So let me check the URL connection. That will be video 1 localhost. Alright, looks fine. Database name, and then password and password, and then what we have added here was table 1, and then I'll test. So I did exactly the same, and now it worked because I have added the jar file in the class path. So I'll finish it here, and I have created both working. Oh, I forgot again to change the targets, so I won't be able to test it. Let me try. Let me go to monitoring, and I'm not able to test it because there's no target. Let me add the admin server. I have saved that already. Let me go to monitoring and testing, and I am able to test, and it says video 2 is working fine. And if I go back to the services, data sources, and video 1, monitoring, testing, it should be working fine as well. Okay, so that's it. I have created a simple database with one single table using a Postgres, and in the Weblogic I have created a data source, okay, that points to my Postgres database, and it's pretty much it. Very simple and easy to do. By the way, I'm using Weblogic 12, no, Weblogic 10. Let me check that, by the way. It doesn't say here, so I'm using Weblogic 10 also. Okay, Weblogic 10, and for the Postgres, I am using the latest version that I took from the Postgres page. Alright, so I think that's it. In next video I will show you how to use this data source in a web application or a weblog or a web services, anything like that running into the Weblogic server. Alright, so thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy the other videos as well. Thank you.